Gentlemen, we have been ready for this matchup for weeks now, just pondering how things are going to shake out, see if both of these teams are going to be at their best. An 8-1 Perrysburg squad, a 9-0 A-Dub General team, ready to square off for an NLL Buckeye title, either outright, the first new outright NLL League champion in Anthony Wayne, or we're going back-to-back three-way ties. Mike Rob, what you got?
Well, you know what? This is a kind of a game where you look at and you say the unstoppable force meets the other unstoppable
object.
No, they're both unstoppable forces.
Oh, baby.
That's exactly what this is.
It.
So I think this is going to be a defensive battle for the ages. I would love for this to be a 14-10 type game, a 14-7 type deal.
Shades of old LSU, Bama.
You know, because or Toledo versus NIU. You know, I like the slow games where you have to play. You know, you're
last week's Toledo NIU, not like 2012 63-60.
No, because you had a lot of
you want last week's version.
Yes,
I
last week's.
Yeah.
But you know, this is a game where I think that it's going to come down to the defensive coordinators.
Sure.
Who's going to be able to force the other team into bad third down situations? Who can keep the play, keep away the longest, because that's what both of these teams are going to try to do. Although there's tons of explosive players on this football field, I just know this from the stats. The home team has not won in quite a while. So it's been about 4 years, like Justin said.
Time to be in White House.
So, so for Anthony Wayne, can you stop the streak?
Yeah, you talk about the similarities of these two teams. They both give up like 9.5, 10 points a game. They both score like 36 points per game. And even Coach Dirk Connor last night on Sports Night, they talked about similarities between the teams, between the communities, the respect they have for each other. Josh Tackett's called it the Ohio State Michigan of Northwest Ohio high school football. I'm ready for this thing to shake out. I'm ready for Friday night already.
Yeah, the road team has won this game the last 4 years. Coach Andy Brungart, in his 8 years, now 9th year, his record against Perrysburg is 6-2. And keep in mind, Andy Brungart is a Perrysburg alum. And he coached for 10 years under Matt Kriegel at Perrysburg as a coordinator. So he's got a very personal tie to this rivalry that has grown in popularity and meeting really in those 8 years since Brungart
stature of the games
has been there. And you listed off some of the stats there, Brandon, with how close this matchup is. And
it's like looking in a mirror.
Yeah, and I kind of looked at that exactly with the quarterback, the matchup to matchup. Josh Tackett's quarterback for Perrysburg, Grant Kinney, quarterback for Anthony Wayne. Maybe a slight edge to Grant Kinney there. Yeah. Then wide receivers, Dominic Woods versus a wide receiver committee for Anthony Wayne. Kind of a toss-up there. Running back committee for Perrysburg versus Braden Gardner for Anthony Wayne. Maybe a slight edge to Braden Gardner because of his explosiveness and what we've seen over the course of 9 weeks.
Carroll had a heck of a game last week.
Correct. And then Joe Cini, linebacker, versus Kyle Weimer, a linebacker for Perrysburg and Anthony Wayne, respectively. It's going to come down to the nitty-gritty in this one. The games not necessarily have kind of been close. Some of them have over the course of those 8 years that I was referencing with Coach Andy Brungart, but there have been games where people like us thought that Anthony Wayne should win and Perrysburg won the game, and then vice versa. So this game, in many ways, can be a toss-up, and it's going to be, okay, who can be resilient, who can maybe take a gashing of a 62-yard touchdown run or pass.
One or two big plays.
They give that up, but then how do they respond?
100%.
And we've seen that matchup with Anthony Wayne and Whitmer, where Whitmer took a shot and couldn't bounce back. But then we saw Whitmer bounce back and beat Perrysburg. And one key element of this game, I think, is the play calling, because Coach Dirk Connor told me that sometimes in that game where Perrysburg lost to Whitmer, Perrysburg's offense just tried to shove it down their throat and run the ball, and Whitmer stopped him. So maybe a little more creativity, not such a, okay, we line everybody up at the line of scrimmage and we get a fullback leading in and we just go power it in. It might not be that easy, or it might not be that simplistic when it comes to the play calling for Perrysburg.